Hi guys, Jason here, Jason's Trucking Info. We're going to go over the stuff on the truck that I have that is a need versus nice to have. So, let's go over that stuff one by one, and it's going to be kind of random. So, let me get the camera off here. Okay, right next to me I've got my guitar. Nice to have. You don't need it on the truck, but it's nice to have if you have an instrument like a guitar or some other instrument that you like to play and practice. Bring it on the truck for when you're doing your 10 off. Hope if you're driving team, you want to make sure that your co-driver is okay with putting up with you playing that instrument. But if you're solo, you can do whatever you want. But I've got my guitar and my music and my journals. Again, isn't necessarily a need, but it's nice to have. Gives you something to do when you're sitting around on your 10-hour break and when you're doing your 34-hour resets. My laptop right here. I've got my laptop here for being able to edit videos and to do any other thing I need to do with the laptop, with a hotspot or Wi-Fi signal, to be able to whatever you need to do with a computer, editing videos or getting on looking up information or doing whatever it is you need to do. TV. So arguably nice to have versus need. Do you need a TV? Not necessarily, but it is definitely nice to have a TV to be able to stream some movies and stuff, to relax and just forget about things and just enjoy yourself on the truck. All right, I've got a big old mess right here, as you can see. Big old cluttery mess. I got one of my tumblers here from a local company in Iowa called the Golden Hopper, from out of Belmond, Iowa. So they make coffee, and they go to the local farmers markets there in Iowa and sell their stuff. I've got a bunch of stuff related to the laptop and my camera equipment, backup hard drives, my GoPro and some of the stuff dealing with that, and just some random stuff. Some for my father-in-law. He likes the Eagles, so I'm getting ready to bring this home to him. That's one of his Christmas presents. He was stuck in the hospital over Christmas because he let his diabetes get out of control because he was not taking care of himself, eating a lot of inappropriate things and doing a lot of stuff that he probably shouldn't have been done as a diabetic. Right here up by my feet, it's hard to see, but I got a coffee pot right here. There's a little bit of a tuck in underneath this part of the bunk, and I can tuck stuff underneath like coffee pot, so when I put my feet down on the floor, I'm not putting my feet down right on the coffee pot. But I only have that plugged in while I'm making coffee, and then I unplug it and keep it on the floor because it seems to be the safest place for it right now. Any place else I try to put it, it winds up falling out. And I've tried to put it in this little nook down here where I'm keeping stuff here. Sometimes this stuff falls out, but this stuff has stayed. For some reason, this stuff usually stays. Sometimes these will fall out. The cups sometimes fall out, but for the most part, this stuff has stayed in this little nook without having to put any little bungees across, which I am planning on getting some bungees in there to help keep that stuff from coming out. But being able to make your own coffee, definitely a good thing. You can have the coffee you'd like and brew your own coffee, have a coffee thermos and your coffee tumbler and make you enough coffee to get you through your trip, and then you can switch over to tea or coffee or soda or whatever it is, wherever your deal is. All right, I would consider a coffee pot one of those things that if you're a coffee drinker, it is a need. But if you don't drink coffee, you're obviously not going to care about the coffee maker. So it is only a need because it'll keep you from spending money in the truck stop. Even though you're getting all these points from fueling and stuff with your loyalty cards at the Loves, at the Flying J's, and the other truck stops that you may be going to a lot, having a coffee pot and making your own coffee just means you got to keep extra water on the truck to be able to do cooking, whether you're doing microwavable meals that need to add water to. Which brings me to the next item. Having a microwave on the truck is definitely, I would say it as a need. It's almost a nice to have item, because you could probably go without it, but once you have it, it definitely helps you be able to stay out of the truck stops. And you just got to hit up a Walmart every so often and get some supplies on your truck, and some of those supplies will have to be refrigerated, some of them won't. So you can get some canned items, you can get some stuff that can go in your fridge, you can get all kinds of stuff. You just, whatever it is that you want. Everybody's different of the things that they like and the things that they want. So depending on what you want, you might like to cook bacon and eggs and stuff. In this drawer, I keep a skillet. I keep a small round skillet that plugs in, because I'm on a truck. Depending on the truck you're on, depends on what you can do. But there is a wall socket up here that's connected to the inverter on the truck that allows me to plug in the TV. There's wall socket up there and one down here, DC adapter there, and I can plug in. I've got an extra power strip plugged in that I use to plug in extra things temporarily. I have it there temporarily. Well, it's plugged in permanently, but everything that gets plugged in to this strip is temporary, like the coffee pot. It's definitely nice to have the coffee pot and the microwave to be able to do things with. And then you want a reliable cooler. This thing here is called a Wolf Box. This is what my wife bought for me for Christmas, called a Wolf Box, and it's upside down. The lettering is upside down. But if I show you this, you can set the temp on it. It's got a little compartment here. This side is you can't put anything in. It's just got this, barely keeps my sticks of butters right there for being able to cook. I've got milk, I've got burritos, I've got shrimp, I've got dip, I've got some chicken and rice, Thai curry seasoned. I used the Thai curry sauce from Buffalo Wild Wings to season it with. And I've got a ribeye steak, some mayo, some sausage. I don't have any eggs or bacon on me right now. If you look right there, I've got two jugs of water that I use to make coffee, or any of the like the microwavable ramen noodles and mac and cheeses and those type of stuff. So I have water for things I need water for. And then I also have bottles of water in a box. That box is hopefully going to disappear over the next couple of days, and I'll get rid of that clutter up there. Got an extra tan cup there that I use for iced tea. Sometimes I'll go ahead and get some iced tea from in the truck stop sometimes, just because it's nice to have something in ice, something cold to drink, versus just having floor cold water or floor cold bottles of tea. So, but definitely things that are good to have on the truck. So I'm losing track of what I've talked about here. In here, I've got my extra coffee grounds, microwavable bowls of mac and cheese, coffee filters, and that's not all of them. This is just what I did have in the old coffee ground thing, but I emptied it, so this is totally full, so these won't fit in there. But I usually keep these inside the coffee ground container when there's room for it. Right now it's totally full because this is brand new opened Folgers coffee. So having canned food and ramen noodles and rice, and I've got blue cheese, and I got stuff to do dishes with. There's some plastic spoons and plastic forks in there, extra clothes, stuff, extra shoes, and there's Ziploc bags and sandwich bags and buried there. Definitely have some wipes, because sometimes you need to get clean. Just buy some wipes in between the showers, but you definitely want to be taking your showers at least every other day. So up front, if you look right there, I've got the headset. Definitely a must. That is a need. Any truck driver needs a good, reliable headset. And you should have backups too, but backups are more of a nice to have. It's nice to have backups so you're not having to go buy. This is a cheaper brand my wife, I think, bought off of Amazon for her job. She answers phones for the local hospital there in Iowa, the Iowa Heart Center. And she didn't like this one for whatever reason, so I took it over, because my headset that I was using at the time was just like that one there, only the speaker was hanging by the two wires and it wouldn't stay snapped on, and it kept popping off the headset. So it eventually stopped working because the two little wires wore out, and then it was basically immobilized and no good. So dash cam, definitely nice to have. I have that set on motion, so if it catches anybody backing in front of me, it'll catch them backing, and if they run into the truck, I got them on camera. Over to the left, that is the brand new Rand McNally 750 that I just bought a month or two ago after I started at Bay and Bay. After the first week or two, while I was running with Google Maps to start with, and not a good idea, but you can do that, but you really got to watch your butt, because Google Maps will not tell you whether it's truck approved routes and stuff. They'll just send you down roads with no regard. It doesn't know that you're in a truck and that you need to watch out for clearances and low clearances and truck approved roads and stuff. So until Google Maps starts giving you that option, you need a good trucker's GPS. That is my brand new one. To the left of that, I eventually stopped by the house and grabbed my old Rand McNally. I thought this thing was toast. I now have this updated. It seems to be working just fine, although even after I updated it yesterday, it still won't find the address of the place just a few miles up. That GPS was able to find it. Google Maps was able to find the address. But for some reason, even after updating this GPS, it still wouldn't find the address of this place here in St. Cloud that I'm getting ready to go to drop off here a little bit later today. So it found the new place I'm going to go pick up though. My next load that I'm going to pick up, it did find it. So I've got them both. I'm using them both. I use the weather on them both, and I can set one up a little bit different from the other so I can get different information on the same route, so I can know how many miles away I am and what time I'm going to get there. And I also can set the other one for how many hours and minutes away I am. I can set them up with different settings, and then they both will do weather, so I can set them up so I can see different. I can set one up for wind and one up for temperature or snow and rain, and set them up differently so I can get different information off the two. So that's why I'm rocking the two of them mainly. So inside this cabinet that I've already been into, if you look behind here, I don't really need it so much now. This is one of those Rode Pro2Gos, looks like a lunchbox. I am not going to take that out of here because I have all this stuff on top of it. I'm not going to unpack it just to show you. I've showed you in other videos, and I may do more videos on it. But this item, you buy those little aluminum tin or whatever loaf pans, and you can get them in 3 different sizes that will fit in here. The biggest size, you kind of got to crimp down to fit it in there. But I keep the aluminum pans in this, and then you can use aluminum foil or whatever, and you can cook all kinds of things. It plugs in, and then it heats up to like 380 degrees, and you can cook all sorts of stuff in it. So having canned goods is good. Down here I've got canned goods, which now I could probably put some of this stuff down here. To alleviate some space. So there you go. So, but yeah, I got that stuff. Hey Gary, I'm starting to make a mess again. I just cleaned this stuff up. Having reflective hats. I've got several, like I got this jacket now, and I've got a couple of shirts. I got a short sleeve, they're all long sleeved actually. But I've got all the long sleeved stuff. So, out of the stuff I've showed you, what would you consider essential? And what would you consider nice to have? What would you like to have? I also got a toolbox, which is going to go back in the side box. I had to, I didn't talk about the CB. CB is definitely something that is good to have, even though most truckers, there's a lot of truckers going around the country without a CB at all, but it is nice to have, and is definitely, sometimes it is a need. Anymore, everybody's got their, smartphone and their headset, and that's all they really need. But having a CB allows you to talk to other truckers and to find out what's going on. You can listen in what's going on when things happen out on the road. There's all kinds of situations that can happen. You can start hearing people talk about crashes that are happening up ahead if you have enough range on your CB. You can hear enough time for you to start getting slowed down before you become a part of a crash that might be up over a hill. And if you don't slow down before you get there, if you don't have a CB and you're reliant upon knowing about something before you see it up over the top of a hill or something, maybe just over the top of the hill, you're blinded by the crest of the hill. As soon as you get up on top, it's too late for you to slow down in time, because maybe whatever the reason is, maybe the crash is right there. Maybe there's black ice and that you need to, everybody is sliding around and trucks are crash banging it up. And for whatever reason, you could hear about whatever's going on, and it'll help you to be prepared to make decisions to avoid being a part of that mess. And hopefully the only thing you'll have to contend with was either being able to drive around whatever's happening and keep going, or to avoid being a part of whatever happened. And at least the only thing you have to contend with is waiting for the road in front of you to clear up enough so that they let you through. So those are the things that's nice. Sometimes it's nice, you can hear truckers talking, you can hear what's going on in the truck stop, and if something's happening, you'll know about it and know that maybe you don't want to get out of your truck right at that minute because of whatever chaos might be happening in the truck outside in the truck stop or wherever you're at. Some trucking companies I know used to call you up on the CB. You could some of them still do, but it's not as common anymore, because now they're running into the situation where hardly a lot of the newer truck drivers are not even messing with CBs. They just use their phone. They get a GPS and a phone and their headset, and that's all they're using. So it just depends. But having a good trucker's GPS is definitely helpful. Definitely helps you get from point A to point B without getting into trouble. Having a good set of tools, zip ties, duct tape. If you can get the extra fluids that you need, oil, antifreeze, transmission fluid, if you for the automatics, having a good hammer, a good set of pliers and wrenches, having screwdrivers and stuff like that, having a good set of tools that you can rely on to be able to make little repairs so that you can change your own headlight bulb versus waiting in line at a TA shop or some other truck shop somewhere for something minor like a light that you could probably change yourself if you just had the tools. What I suggest is, instead of waiting, whatever that wait time is, if you're lucky you get right in and they do it, change it. Problem is, these truck stops have like this whole procedure they got to go through. They got to look at your old truck. Their company wants them to look at your truck and look for other things that might be wrong. So they're going over your whole truck. They're just not changing that light. They're going over your whole truck. They're looking to see if you need to get a new tire. They're looking for other things that might need to be addressed, so they can try to talk you into tell your company that they need, the truck needs this, the truck needs that, and so that they can try to sell more crap to either you or your company. So to avoid that whole scenario and getting stuck inside a shop somewhere for several hours for something that you could probably fix in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes. If it's just like a headlamp, all you need to do is open up your hood, figure out where you access whichever bulb is out, grab those bulbs, physically pull them out, and take them into the truck stop with you. And go inside and match the numbers. Find the exact bulbs and match the numbers on the packaging as the ones on that are on the bulb itself. And if you're having trouble, you can go up to the clerk in the especially if you're in like not the store part of the truck stop, if you're in the side of the shop area. That's what you do for minor stuff on your truck. Minor stuff like lights, oil and stuff, do that stuff yourself. Wipers are not hard to take off and bring the wipers in. Tell them what kind of truck you got, the same way you do it with your car. What do you do when your wipers go bad in your car? You pull the old ones off, take them in to make sure that what you're getting is the same size as what they're selling you. You go ahead and you tell them, oh, I need my dash cam is not getting set off. Should be recording that guy trying to park next to me, and it's not, so it's not set up right. Anyway, must not have been enough in front of the camera to set it off. But take care of the stuff that break down in your truck as much as possible within your ability. Take your wipers off your vehicle so that you know how they come off. Figure out how they come off. Usually it's pretty straightforward. Usually there's just a little tab you gotta squeeze and then just pull them off and work the metal part through that it sets on the wiper blade holder and pull it off. Take them both off and take them in. Whatever, if it's wipers, if it's a bulb, it depends on your truck. Sometimes they just push in and twist. Sometimes you gotta push in and there's kind of a spring action. And there's usually a twisting action. They usually gotta push in and lock in, or push in and pull out. Usually, more often than not. Some lights just snap in. Some light bulbs just snap in, depending on whether they're a light, turn signal light, or a parking light, or a headlamp, or whatever it is you're trying to change out. Most of it is not that hard to figure out just by getting in there and playing with it. And then you have the bulb, you know what you're looking for. Thing you want to know is if it's like some of the lights, like marker lights on a trailer, sometimes it's just a bulb, sometimes it's a whole deal altogether, and you gotta take the screws out and pull the whole thing off, go in and buy that whole shebang. Sometimes it's a whole unit, but take care of the stuff yourself as much as possible. So many things that are nice to have on the truck, and so many things that are needs. What you decide is a need and what you decide is a nice to have is kind of one of those things that could cause arguments, because some truck drivers will say that you don't need a trucker's GPS. I would consider it pretty much a need, because that trucker's GPS has so many features of it that will help you find places, because
a new message has arrived.
it'll be a shot in the dark trying to find places to park a truck. When you're doing over the road old style and all you have is a road atlas, and if you're lucky, you can look stuff up on your phone. Anymore, your smartphones can look a lot of that stuff up, but you don't want to really be using Google Maps to route yourself out around. I got away with it. I did it for a while and I got lucky, but it'll eventually send you down an inappropriate road. It'll be telling you to turn down a road. You look down, you'll start to turn, look down there, and you'll see no trucks on that road. And there's probably a good reason why there's no trucks allowed on that road. There could be low-hanging wires, low bridges, low clearances. There could be streets that you will not have enough room to turn on in that big truck. So you want a trucker's GPS that will only tell you to turn down appropriate truck-approved roads, provided that you go into all the settings. This is the other thing. You got to go in on those GPSs and put the settings of your truck. 13.6 tall, 70 feet long, 8 to 10 feet wide, and stuff like that. And then, whatever other parameters you want to put in there is up to you. And you can customize it all kinds of ways. You can change the way the route color is. You can change what your little icon of your truck looks like. Do you want it to look like a semi-truck? Do you want it to be a sports car? Do you want it to be an F-16 or a tank? Depending on what GPS you have, will depend on what kind of options you have for customizing that thing with. But other things you want to have is a good broom for sweeping out your trailers. I thought a push broom would be best. That is best if you got dry van trailer. But these reefer trailers with metal grooves on the floor, that kitchen broom actually was better than a push broom. It actually gets down in there easier, has the floppier bristles. And I was trying to use a wide push broom on one of the last trailers, and I couldn't get all the stuff that I was getting with the kitchen broom. And it was actually faster than the push broom too. I was actually surprised when I was trying to sweep out that trailer with just a regular old kitchen broom versus the wide broom. I have the wide broom, and the kitchen broom is right here behind my driver's seat. The wide push broom is back here outside, right behind the where all my trailer lines are at. It's stuck down where I would put the it's in the same thing that holds my load locks in. So I'm keeping it in there, and then it's getting dirty and filthy, the handle is, but you're usually going to be wearing your trucker's gloves that you use for fueling and stuff usually anyway. So anyway, have you a nice set of tools, a good GPS, headset, reliable charging cables for the stuff you have, extra clothes, reliable way to cook with, get a nice way to keep food on and a reliable way to cook with, skillet, microwave, Burton Road Pro to Go stove, if whatever. You're not always gonna be at a truck stop. You're not always gonna have ways of doing stuff. You need to have backup ways of doing stuff. What if you're stuck parked somewhere for hours and you don't have any bathroom facilities? You need to have an emergency way of being able to go to the bathroom if you're stuck somewhere. And it's a lot easier to take care of having to pee, but if you got to poop, you need to have a reliable way of being able to take care of that in an emergency if you can't hold it. And some of you are young fellas or young gals, and you can hold your bladder and you can hold your bowels for a couple days straight if you actually had to. As you get older, your body stops letting you do those sorts of things. The more you do that, the more you hold your bladder for long hours at a time. When I was younger, I could hold my bladder. My bladder be dang near numb from holding it so long, and I was so tired I didn't even want to walk to the bathroom. I could lay down, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and then go pee. My bladder would be numb. I did that so much when I was younger and did stuff like that of being able to hold it for hours on end. Your body will eventually not be able to handle that as you get older. Everybody's bodies is different. Some of you are getting older and you still have that ability. But a lot of you, as you get older, the more you have to watch what you eat, because the foods that you eat will start having effects on you. These days, if I eat a lot of spicy foods, I might have to suddenly go to the bathroom, and it is that, I mean, I'm not trying to be gross, I'm just trying to be reality here. This is reality, and this will help you. You got to understand that as you get older, you will eventually not just have that ability to hold your bladder for long periods of time. If you've been doing it a lot when you're younger, if you have not just been taking care of it, when you're driving, you can just pull over and pee somewhere. If you're a guy, it's a lot easier. If you're a woman, you've got to be a little more selective, depending on who you are. I've had some ex-co-drivers that would get out and squat on the side of the road in the middle of broad daylight, even around traffic, and they just didn't care. Most women are not going to do that, but at least one of my ex-co-drivers was willing to get out and do that. And when it comes to pooping, it's hard to poop without a toilet and not to make a mess of yourself. That's not something you can just go and do on the side of the road very easy. You have to try to, position yourself in a way that your poop's not going to land on your own pants that are down to your knees, and you got to try to, and then you got to try to have something to wipe yourself with, and as you get older, sometimes your poop is not that solid chunk stuff. It is that liquidy, mushy, goopy stuff that gets all over everything, and it is not a fun time. I have been there and done that. And spicy foods, greasy foods, there's all kinds of foods that will mess with you and will cause you problems on the road as you get older. When you're young, things don't bother you so much. When you get older, you're gonna be dealing with stuff. I'm sorry that I was being gross. Just being reality. You're gonna have to have a way. That's why there's a lot of nastiness out in the trucks with a lot of drivers have a bad rep for having like 5-gallon buckets full of shit in a bucket, piss and shit in a bucket, and they haven't even lined it with a garbage bag. If you're gonna use a 5-gallon bucket, line it with a thick garbage bag. Don't get the cheap ones. Don't skimp out. Buy like the thicker mill, like leaf and lawn bags that are designed to handle a little more abuse, and then be able to tie that up. And then when you're done, using it, once you get somewhere where you can throw that away, throw it away in a dumpster or something. Don't have a big old bucket of piss and shit. I don't even know how drivers that are doing that can handle being on their own truck. That is nastiness like no other. So don't resort to that stuff unless it's an emergency. There are some truckers that have resulted in, no matter where they're at, whether they're at their truck stop where they can walk in and use a regular bathroom or not, even if it's only a few paces away, they've gotten so used to taking care of business on the truck that they have portable toilets and portable this and that, things that they have jimmy rigged together on the truck. Some truckers even put, have a hole in their floor with a funnel with a tube poking out the bottom of their truck so they can piss while they're going down the road. You should not have to resort to that. So, I'm about to run out of battery, which I can solve that real quick here. Alright guys, so I got off on a tangent there towards the end, but let's keep this video what it's actually supposed to be about, and that is the stuff that you actually want on the truck, and the stuff that you need, and the stuff that's nice to have. I'd like to hear from all of you of what you thought about the different stuff that I showed. So I did this video a couple different times. I don't remember everything I talked about in this one. So I'd kind of like to hear from you guys of what stuff you guys think were the necessary, the items that are needed, and which stuff are the stuff that is just nice to have, and how much of the stuff that you feel is more than just creature comforts, because you need them on the truck just to be comfortable when you're stopped. Because when you're driving, you don't need much. You just need your headset to be able to talk on the phone if you need to, or to listen to music or whatever. The CB to be able to communicate to people around you if you got a good working CB. That is something that some truck drivers think are unnecessary. Anymore, people don't talk on the CBs as much as they used to. It used to be you would hear people on the CB a lot more. Now there's a lot of truck drivers that don't even have a CB on their truck. So the CB is kind of one of those arguable things. Back in the day, it was a lot more important. These days, most truckers don't even have a GPS or a CB anyway. So why is it that big of a deal now? Well, sometimes it will save your butt in certain situations. It's able to communicate, and sometimes all it will be is fun at the truck stops to bullshit around with other truckers over the CB and stuff, or to hear people doing funny stuff. Sometimes it'll be funny, sometimes you'll want to turn it off because it's getting too ridiculous. But that CB could one day be the one way you're able to communicate and be able to get out of a jam. So it could be the one way that you're able to communicate and find stuff out, and find out why you're stuck on the road and bumper traffic. And you might be able to hear truckers saying, get off this road and take this way, because then you'll avoid all the stuff. Don't rely on the trucker's GPS for everything, even though it does a hell of a job of getting you around. The Rand McNally is awesome. I can't speak about Garmin's because I don't have one. I haven't really used one. But my Rand McNally GPS is awesome. I got 2 of them, just like I showed you. They're awesome. So I'm gonna get this video ending right here. I want to hear what you think are the things that are needed on the truck, and what things are nice to have. What do you bring on the truck? Do you have other things on the truck that I didn't show? Like I think I talked about my 50-foot air hose. I put my toolbox back in the side box. In there I got a 50-foot air hose. I've got extra fluids. There's socks down there. I'm about ready to get some chains for free I'm not going to say on YouTube where they're coming from because I don't want to get that person in trouble, because I don't know if they will if this video gets to the wrong person. So I will not reveal my source or whatever, but I have a source for some free bags of brand new chains, and who knows if I'll be able to get some other stuff. But yeah, it's getting about 10 minutes before I'll get back on the I'll get on duty here, do my pre-trip and all that, get out of here. So I'm gonna try to quickly edit this video. I'm not gonna chop much out. I'm just gonna kind of leave it mostly the way it is and put this up. So hopefully some of the stuff I talked about there towards the end wasn't too disgusting. But it's just reality, folks. It's the life of a trucker, and that's not even involving the truckers that have, pets on the truck and the stuff that they got going on with their dogs, especially those with cats. There are people with a gazillion cats on their truck, and it's nastiness. So hopefully all you are being clean truck drivers, taking showers every day, cleaning your truck up. Hey, I just wanted to give a little bit of an update. The end of this video, I did get my truck cleaned up a little bit better, and it looks a lot cleaner in here. I just hope it stays that way. So here's what I did. I got that box on the floorboard again, and hopefully I can get rid of that box here soon. So now I got the seat free to be able to put my paperwork on. There's my bag of trash. The next time I stop, I'll be able to get rid of that. So here's what I've done up here. Cleaned up the top. I filled that up with some of that excess stuff I didn't need and stuck it up there. So now it's a lot neater up there. Cleaned up the clutter on that desk, got that all cleaned up. Now, let's turn on a light over here. I just got a couple of my 3 hats right there. Got my guitar, my music, and I got some stuff shoved right at the end of the bed so that they're out of the way. My journals are right there. Got my egg carrier thing, which I could shove that somewhere too. Got my Leatherman, stick that right there. So I have created a bunch of room. It's easier to walk through here. I need to wash my rugs. They're getting really nastied up. There's my tennis shoes, my coffee pot, my Wolf box cooler, my thing of nuts. That stuff usually stays there pretty good. Usually those don't fall out that much. Depends on how bumpy of roads I am. And if those fall out, it's not a big deal. It's just paper plates and stuff. It's if that Tupperware thing, which I've got cereal and a loaf of bread and some different crackers and some cheese spread and things like that that don't need refrigerated. So let's see if this stuff will stay here. So I shoved all my hats up there, Milky Way bars, and I shoved some more stuff in here. So all that stuff is now bugging me. So, yeah. So, truck's looking pretty snazzy now. Got a lot more room. Got enough room to sleep. So, got the TV and my laptop. I'm busy editing this video right now, and this little bit I'm recording I'm gonna add at the end. I'm just sitting here waiting for them to send me a a fee for the Yeah, they haven't sent it yet. A lumper fee code, so I can go get on the Qualcomm and send for a money code to pay Capstone for their stupid lumper fee. So I'm just sitting here waiting. So, all right, I'm gonna upload this little piece of video right on the end of this. So I'm getting the truck cleaned up. Slowly but surely, I'm taking care of the clutter, and hopefully I can keep it that way. But every time I try to go grabbing stuff, I end up pulling stuff out, and then so there'll be some stuff I'll probably take back off the truck. Like, I don't need all my ball caps on here. I can take a bunch of those off. I can go through my clothes and see what clothes I can possibly take off the truck. Like, this pair of jeans I'm wearing is really tight around the waist. I'll probably I don't know, I might just wear them on the truck to wear them out, because they're an older pair of jeans. But yeah, anyway, I just thought I would update you guys. Ooh, I feel somebody on the truck, so they must not be done yet. I've only been at the dock for almost 3 hours, so I have been sitting at the dock for 2 hours and 55 minutes. So that's what's going on there. And I checked with my next appointment, which is just a couple miles up the road. They said they got possibly places for me to park right there, but my appointment time to get loaded is for like 6 o'clock in the morning, and they said my next load was not ready to be loaded yet. Maybe that'll be different when I get there. I'm hoping I can get loaded and gone, because I got almost a full clock I can drive on, other than what little bit I'll probably be taking down my 14. But as of right now, look at that right there, 8 hours of drive time. And look at this, if I go to summary, I've got almost all my hours, because I just got a 34 in just the day before yesterday. I have barely used any of my hours since. Doing a lot of sitting around these last couple days. I have been doing pretty good running around. I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing pretty good driving, going right from one place to another and be able to get unloaded early. Usually I had to sit to get my 34 at the place I picked up this load at that I'm dropping off now. That's how I got my 34. Other than that, I haven't been sitting too much. It's been pretty good. My paychecks have been pretty decent. I just try to keep running. So, yep, I feel them. They're knocking me around a little bit. Well, guys, that's all I wanted to do is show you guys that I got the truck under control just a little bit more. So there's a bag of extra clothes, my duffel bag, and I got my tripod right up against the wall there. So I gotta keep my stuff on one side or the other, so that if I'm hitting a lot of bumps or hitting brakes a little bit, that stuff doesn't come flying off. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta keep your stuff so it's not liable to come flying out there. So my shower bag's the only thing I'm worried about right now. So thanks guys. Catch you next video. We'll see what the next one's going to be about. Bye.